Well, the national political fight over voting rights is escalating after the Supreme Court upheld two regulations in the battleground state of Arizona. In a 6-3 decision, the court ruled the voting laws were not discriminatory and did not violate the Voting Rights Act. Jan Crawford covers the Supreme Court. Jan, good morning to you. What does this mean for future cases?
Well, good morning, Drika. I mean, this case was seen really as an important test for these new restrictions we're seeing on voting. And this conservative court is signaling it is not likely to overturn a lot of these new voting laws that are now being passed in states across the country.
The two Arizona voting provisions had been on the books for years. The first discards ballots cast in the wrong precinct. The second bans so-called ballot harvesting, where third parties other than family collect piles of absentee ballots and turn them in. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich argued the case in favor of the voting laws.
Why'd you defend this?
We want to make sure that everyone has the ability and the right to exercise the franchise, but we also want to make sure that everyone has confidence in the process and they respect the results. And that's what these laws are designed to do.
6 justices on the court agreed that neither provision violated the Voting Rights Act because they were not enacted with a racially discriminatory purpose, and states have an entirely legitimate interest in the prevention of fraud. But the court's 3 liberal justices said the decision undermines the Voting Rights Act because laws like Arizona's discriminate against minority voters. In a statement, President Biden said he was deeply disappointed.
It is critical that we make a distinction between voter suppression and suspension.
The decision comes as 48 state legislatures have introduced 389 bills this year alone that could restrict voting access. CBS News election law contributor David Becker.
So the need for some kind of basic standards of election practices and voting rights is very, very stark right now. And Congress is our last hope, really, for a lot of this.
Now, this decision, of course, came on the last day of the court's term, but next term, the court is going to tackle some of the most divisive issues in society, including abortion. Gayle?
Oh, boy, we'll all be watching. Thank you, Jan.